Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to my newest collection update video, and this is for June 2020, well the back end of May and up to June so far. I've got a couple more I'm still waiting for delivery on, but I'll probably show them in next month's video. So if you can hear any background noise, I've got the fan on in here because it's really warm today, so my apologies for any background noise that you hear. So we'll make a start. I'll show you the Blu-rays that I've picked up first. I've picked up a fair amount, I've not done too bad this month, and then I'll show you some DVDs that I've got at the end as well. So we'll start with the Blu-rays, and the first one that I have got is the Bad Boys collection in the sleeve. Now I did have this, the Bad Boys 1 and 2 version of this, but this is the newest version. It's got Bad Boys 1, 2 and 3. So what I'll just do with my old Bad Boys 1 and 2 DVD, I'll just move that on. So that's good. I did enjoy Bad Boys 3. I have reviewed it on the channel if anybody wants to check that review out. The next one I've picked up is a box set, and that is this. I've been after this for a while, but it's actually quite pricey, this, and I found this second hand on eBay, pretty cheap. So you get a box set here of all these, basically the Hannibal Lecter trilogy. So you get in here, you get Silence of the Lambs, which is still sealed, and I bought this second hand, this box set. So we've got Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and Red Dragon. Personally, I'm not, well I do like this, but I liked Manhunter as well, which is basically the Michael Mann film, the first Hannibal Lecter film that came out in the 80s, I believe. So that's the Hannibal Lecter trilogy. Pretty happy to have added that to the collection. I'm probably going to watch these fairly soon, and maybe I'll either review them individually or do a triple review on them. So that is that. Let's move my phone out of the way, put that there. Right, next, really pleased to get this because it's not easy to get hold of. The Monster, and it's a German Blu-ray. You can tell it's German because it's got German writing on it, but also because they're much thinner than the UK Blu-rays. Very good film this. I've reviewed this on the channel. Very enjoyable film. So that is the Monster. Next one I've picked up, I'm picking up quite a few found footage films to re-watch and watch, or if I haven't seen them before, because as you know I'm catching up with a lot of found footage films in the hope to do another top 10 found footage list in the coming weeks. So Quarantine. Now I know this is the American remake of REC. Was it the Spanish one, I think. And to be honest, I've not seen either of them, so I probably should have watched the Spanish one first, but this was so cheap I picked it up. I thought, well, I'll check this one out first, because this one has a decent rep as well, to be fair. Next one, and I did a classic film review for this fairly recently on the channel. 12 Monkeys, Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, Brad Pitt, Terry Gilliam film. Really good film, very good film. So yeah, got the Blu-ray, watched it, reviewed it. I've also done a top 10 Bruce Willis list you may have seen on the channel. Another one that I've really been happy to pick up with this is Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon in the slipcase. What can you say about this film? It's an absolute martial arts classic. It's got some fantastic extras on it. It's got 3 documentaries on it, this. Really pleased. I'm looking forward to rewatching that. It's a few years since I've seen it. I have picked up Dune, still sealed, I haven't watched it yet. Pretty cheap on eBay, got a good deal on that. A lot of people will blow a bit hot and cold with this film. I actually quite like it. I went to the cinema to see this when it came out in the 80s, but I am stupidly excited for Denis Villeneuve's version of this, hopefully coming later this year, but we might have to wait, who knows. Scary stories to tell in the dark. Really good. I've rewatched this again with my wife who hasn't seen this. Pretty effective film, I think, this. Looking forward to the sequel. I think there's a sequel in the works. One of my favourite horrors now, one of my favourite possession type horrors anyway, that I have bought and rewatched again recently. I have reviewed this as one of the earlier films I reviewed on the channel. I certainly reviewed it 2 or 3 years ago anyway. Deliver Us From Evil, Eric Bana, Edgar Ramirez. In the if I can move the slip, it's quite tight. There we go. Yeah, in the slipcover. If you haven't seen Deliver Us From Evil, check it out. It's a very, very effective horror film. I think it's really well done. Another one of my favourite films now, and this is either the first or second misunderstood movie review I did on the channel. The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. I think it's highly underrated, this film. I think it's really good. I've rewatched it again a few nights ago. It's just great. I think it's really good. I can't believe it didn't do well at the cinema. I honestly can't believe it. It's a good film. Another one I picked up really cheap, and it's the 25th anniversary edition, so it includes a newly remastered Blu-ray plus over 3 hours of special features, and that is Forrest Gump. Still sealed, not opened it. I'm actually, it's a good few years since I've seen this, so I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing this. I went to the cinema original to watch this film. I remember actually it was an ex-girlfriend at the time I went with to watch this, and I really didn't want to go. I wasn't looking forward to it, and I absolutely loved it. Loved the film. It was fantastic. Right, next, one of my favourite vampire films, Stakeland. Still sealed. Got a good deal on this on eBay. Stakeland 2 is pretty good as well, and I would like to pick that up eventually, but it's not easy to get hold of. But Stakeland, I do highly recommend this film if you haven't seen it. Another film that I think is really, really good, I'm looking forward to checking out again, is The Founder, Michael Keaton. I've reviewed this on the channel when it came out, and this basically follows the story of McDonald's, how McDonald's came to be, and the ruthless businessman played by Michael Keaton, who basically stole it from under somebody. Two guys who invented McDonald's, they stole it from under their feet and turned it into a huge, massive business. Pretty unscrupulous businessman, really, and I do recommend you check this one out. I did a top 10 list recently of my favourite Michael Keaton films, and that made the list. Right, next, this was an absolute steal, and it's brand new, still sealed. It's the Planet of the Apes trilogy, so you get Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes. All 3 still sealed, and I couldn't believe this. I paid £5 for this, brand new, on eBay. Honestly, really, really pleased for that. I did have the first one, I think I had Rise, Planet of the Apes, but I've seen the first one, but I haven't seen the second or third one of these, so I'm looking forward to catching up with this trilogy. Next one is Vacation, the attempt to reboot the National Lampoon's Vacation films, you know, the Chevy Chase films, with Ed Helms playing Chevy Chase's son, Rusty, taking his family on a vacation. I actually quite enjoyed this. I thought it was a little bit underrated, and Chevy Chase, if you can see on that picture there, does make an appearance in the film as Clark Griswold. Chris Hemsworth in it as well. I actually don't mind this at all. I'm looking forward to revisiting this. I'm just thinking if I reviewed this on the channel. I think I did. Pleased with this next one. Yeah, you can't really call it a box set, even though it's got 3 films on it. It's the 35th anniversary 3-movie collection, so it's been newly remastered. It's the Beverly Hills Cop films. So you get Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2 and 3. Pretty pleased to get that. I'm not sure what extras you get because it doesn't tell you, so I hope you do get some stuff on it. So that's that. This next film hasn't got a great rep. I didn't mind it too much. It's certainly better than the third one, Annabel Comes Home, and that is Annabel. Looking forward to checking this one out again with my wife, who hasn't seen this, but we've been catching up and watching the Conjuring films, over the last few months. So I think we've only got this to watch together. I've seen this, but she hasn't. I can't remember what else. Certainly Annabel Comes Home she hasn't seen, but I'm reluctant to buy that one if I'm honest, but I'm probably going to have to add it to the collection. This next one I haven't seen, so let me know what you think of this film if you have seen it. The Forest, Natalie Dormer from Game of Thrones in the slipcover. I remember when this was due to come out, I thought it sounded pretty good, but it kind of fizzled away. It didn't seem to get any. It didn't get terrible reviews from what I remember, but it didn't get lauded either by critics. So. And the last 2 Blu-rays I have got is Horrible Bosses: The Totally Inappropriate Edition. I think that's a really funny film. And Horrible Bosses 2. The extended cut. So I'll probably watch these and probably do a double review on these in the coming weeks, maybe. Right, so that's all the Blu-rays that I have picked up. I'm going to show you some DVDs that I've picked up now, and the first DVD is, again with my found footage catch up, this film I've never seen. I'm looking forward to checking it out and reviewing it. And it's quite famous because it came out the same year as the Blair Witch Project, but the Blair Witch Project was wildly successful. This one flew under the radar and no one seemed to bother with it, but a lot of people say it's much better than Blair Witch Project. That is The Last Broadcast. Couldn't find it on Blu-ray, but I found it on DVD. Looking forward to this one. I think it's the one where they go in the woods looking for the Jersey Devil, I think it is, and it's like a mockumentary style found footage film, and I'm actually really looking forward to checking this one out. I'm going to watch this and review it ASAP. So let me know if you've seen this in the comments, what you think of this film, The Last Broadcast. And the last set of DVDs that I've got are all Louis Theroux DVDs. I've been buying these DVDs, they're dead cheap on eBay, and watching them with my wife. We're both big fans of Louis Theroux and his documentaries. So I've got My Scientology Movie, which I've reviewed recently, The Odd, the Bad and the Godly, again, which I've reviewed fairly recently on the channel. I'll probably review all of these to some degree. Louis Theroux, Law and Disorder, and this one's got 4 documentaries on. The Odd, the Bad and the Godly's got 5 documentaries on. Louis Theroux, The Strange and the Dangerous, this has got 5 documentaries on. And Louis Theroux, The Collection, This has got all his Weird Weekend stuff on, when Louis met, including the Jimmy Savile one, Louis and the Nazis, Louis in the brothel, loads of stuff, including his TV Nation stuff. So there's absolutely mountains of stuff on this one, and I'm just making my way through this one now with my wife. So it's really good. I mean, it's like I say, it's got its weird weekends where he does the wrestling thing and porn and swingers and survivalists, loads of stuff. Then when Louis met, so he meets Jimmy Savile, Paul Daniels and Debbie McGee, the Hamiltons, Chris Eubank, Ann Widdecombe, and a few documentaries at the end. So that is the Louis Theroux collection. They're really cheap to pick up. I don't know why I never thought to get them before, because like I said, me and my wife are big fans of Louis Theroux. So hopefully I'll get around to reviewing all of those at some point on the channel. So that's pretty much everything I've picked up in the last 3 to 4 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this catch up, guys. Let me know in the comments if there's any that you haven't seen, or if there's any that you quite like the look of. And of course I will be back with more content on Screen Stars very, very soon.